This video is sponsored by Harry's. There'll be more on that later. We're building a houseboat. Rough seas, Don!
Seas, no.
Is that the only way to travel?
This is the only way to travel.
There you go. Glorious looking boat. It's a little rocky. The old Pawson, Waterloo, Ontario. It's got Waterloo in the name. It's got Waterloo. Look at that. You gotta know that this boat is made for water.
In the boat, Frankie. Come on. Come in the boat. Come on. Come on in the boat, Frankie. Come on. In the boat, Frankie. Come on. Come on. Let's go for a boat ride.
All right, the first thing first with our houseboat construction is I want to get it up on a nice platform to work on it. I don't want it to be rocking on my shop floor. So the plan is to take some 2x3s, screw them all together to give myself like a kind of like a dry dock situation where we can work on the boat with it not rocking. I've had enough of my things moving in the wind and on land. It's harder to work on stuff when it's moving. So we're gonna secure it down. As you guys know, I'm in a little bit of a competition with Zach Fowler over at Makers. Zach, what is his channel? As you guys know, I'm in a little bit of a competition, or maybe you guys don't know that I'm in a little bit of a competition with Zach Fowler's over at Fowler's Makery and Mischief.
And the idea of the Wooded Beardsman and Kevin one-upping me and building a tiny houseboat, and if I didn't do a good version of it, and then totally blasting mine out of the water, battleship style, I was like...
He challenged me to make a houseboat. Now, I misheard him and made a house ball. You guys can check out the ball I made. The link will be probably down in the description. I came in like a wrecking ball. I don't know the other words of that song. I think I knocked that ball out of the park. But I'm not one to back down on competition, so now I'm going to build a houseboat. And I'm going to up the ante a little bit. I am going to make it the world's smallest houseboat.
This is pretty fast. I don't need to really go faster than this. Haha! Solar powered tiny houseboat part 1.
And I'm thinking of making it the most technologically advanced small houseboat ever. I'm gonna kind of mirror it behind the MV Vision, the ferry that goes back from Newfoundland to, where's that? North Sydney, Nova Scotia. I rode that thing and it had the coolest bulkheads and the fanciest, flashiest lights and stuff, kind of like a cruise ship. So that's my inspiration for this build. Maybe make it propeller powered. I've got this old Dash 8 prop laying around. Maybe I can mount it to the back and really get this thing flying. If you guys can see that. Yeah. Although I've only got one. I don't know, maybe it'll just spin in circles. I don't know, it's an idea. Not gonna take it off the table. I am going to consult the rule books. Not that there is a rule book, but I'm going to use as much reused material as I possibly can. All right, I was thinking maybe, whoa, I missed the chair. Maybe making my T-1000 the captain of the ship. She's got a lot of experience driving. What do you think? Let's do this. I happen to have a lot of stuff I've been collecting for many, many years, and I think I have enough to build this thing without going to the store. Or maybe power this guy with air power. I guess that was the first one too with the propeller, but maybe just a big fan and like double ramp it up, maybe a series of fleet. All right, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe I've gone, you know, put the cart before the horse. Maybe I'm not gonna worry about propulsion just yet. Maybe I'm gonna worry about making the house part of the houseboat. let's get started and build the house. I'm pretty confident in my ability to build a house. So let's build the houseboat and then worry about propulsion a little bit later. All right, since I don't have a whiteboard, I have a piece of plywood and I'm going to draw a picture of a boat, or I'm going to attempt to. This is what we currently have to work with. So it looks like this. It's got like a front, and it goes like this, and then like that. If you're looking from above. Can you guys even see that? I think I need a bigger marker. There, you guys can see that better. Now normally I start these projects and I go, Don, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this thing and we're gonna do this and that and the other thing with it. And he's got no idea what we're doing because he can't see in my brain. Now I'm gonna try to put it on paper. So this is gonna be open air area and you'll be able to sit. So we're gonna need, we already got a bench there. Look at that. We're already half done. We're gonna need higher benches to sit. So a couple of benches here, which is gonna get us up a little bit more comfortable. So you'll be able to control your propulsion here. And then that's already raised up. And then there's another bench here. So what we got to do is we have to take storage right here. We got a bench here. And then we need some sort of area, probably right down the center where there's a sort of a bed area here. And then if you're looking at the side of the boat there, we got this. So there's our chair. And then it goes up like this and then curved, probably some sort of round window because it is a boat. We want some sort of porthole and then possibly a larger window for ventilation like that. Really, I'm not that great at drawing. Does that make any sense to you guys? Yeah, and then lighting and all the amenities. So a place to cook, a place to go number one, number two. Make sure it doesn't tip over. That's my plan. Maybe you guys can give me some tips. This is gonna be a couple parts. So if I haven't put it in the first part, I can put it in the second part. Put your hints and suggestions down below in the comments and I will read them and take them into consideration. So if you see something or if you want something in this thing, put them down below. Now let's get started building. Let's shove off and get this boat on the road. All right, let's shove off and get this boat on the road. All right, let's shove off and get this boat on the road. In order to start the house part of our houseboat build, we needed to first start with a foundation. And by a foundation, I mean something that we can attach to easily. So we took a bunch of 2x2s we had laying around and we affixed them to the upper ledge of the boat. And then we fashioned some curvy pieces out of some 2x6 roughly. We scribed them out and then we fashioned them to the curve of the front of the boat. And then we proceeded to take some PL adhesive and glue it to the upper lip of the boat, and we added some fasteners just to hold it in place while the glue set. And once that was set, we added our uprights one by one until we started to have a skeleton, which was skin would attach to later on. And then once the skeleton was on, we put the top on, which is essentially the head of the boat. And then we could proceed from there. We're moving right along. We've made a boomerang. This thing can be chucked and it'll return and be installed on the boat. We're doing the bow, which is the front of the boat. And this little curvy chunk here goes right about here. And it's a sort of a compound round angle thingamajigger. I don't exactly know. I am not a boat builder, but I think this is the way we're gonna do it. We're gonna attach it, and then what I'm gonna do is use either the flap disc wheel or the planer, and I'm going to shape it to my final design. We do our best and we shave the rest. Hey guys, you know I'm a pretty big fan of a nice clean shave. That's why I'm excited to introduce you today to Harry's Premium 5-blade razor. What I like best about Harry's razor is that it comes with a very ergonomic designed handle. It's got the two-tone color. Mine happens to be kind of a greeny color. It comes with a protective sheath, so when you're not using it, you kind of stow it away. What I like best about the little cover is that it has vent holes, so when you're not using your razor, it allows it to dry. And when you're doing the detailed areas, it's got a detailed blade right on the tip there for a little spot under your nose. You can get it. And then when you're done, you stow it away and you put it on your shelf. And all the blades are manufactured in their own factory in Germany, so you know the quality is there. And one of the best things about Harry's razor is that they're extremely affordable. There's no pink tax added on. And you can't really go wrong, because if you're not 100% satisfied, you get your money back. So order your starter pack today. It comes with your shave gel, your weighted handle, and a 5-blade razor
with your protective cover. And it's super convenient. Whenever you need a refill, you just order it and it shows up to your door. Oh, and did I mention they give 1% of their global sales to non-profit organizations? That's pretty cool. And right now you can redeem your starter set for just $5. Go to harrys.com/modernself to pick your very own razor up today. All right, let's get back to work.
Sexy line. I don't think guys can't really appreciate how sexy that line is. That's the roof. The roof's gonna go like this. And then right there, it's gonna go and then a peak. And then this is a window. So you can see where you're going. I used some cardboard to make a template for the floor. Now all I had to do is cut it out of plywood, and then I've got a floor. And then I take a special consideration to where the holes are to have storage for future consideration.
We took the opportunity to use an angle grinder and smooth off any imperfections that were in the structure before we put the roof on. In order to put the roof on, we used an underlayment or a Luan type product. It's very light and flexible. We carefully bent it over the structure of the boat and then affixed it with some glue and then added some screws. And once the glue was set, we took our oscillating tool and we cut the Luan around the bow of the boat to maintain its shape. All right, guys, another day in dry dock. As you can see, the progress is coming along real nicely. I haven't been chatting very much. I've been working and cutting and filling and stuff like that. So I'll give you a little bit of a tour now of what I have exactly planned, and you guys can see firsthand at what it looks like. So the plan, if I can bring you guys into the boat. So this is the back. So there's a sitting area here. You can kind of sit out on the water like this, and you're kind of free of obstructions. I may plan on putting sort of a foldable roof in case for inclement weather. I think this is a nice spot sitting right here. And I got my heating system. It's going to go on this wall, so that's going to be skinned all the way across. And then I have an opening window on this side. This is the window side. And then over here, I have planned for a porthole window, because every boat has to have a porthole. The piece de resistance, the front, the bow of the boat, I have planned to try to make a curved window here. I've kind of structured it that way that this front piece comes off, and then I can put a curved window in there. As you guys may or may not know, making stuff round is not the easiest thing to do, so it's going a little bit slow, but slowly but surely, it's coming along. I'm really enjoying the process so far. Kind of like it's relaxing. If you guys ever have the opportunity to build yourself a houseboat, you guys should do it, because it's fun. I think anybody can do this, given enough patience. You got to give yourself patience. If you're new to this sort of thing, give yourself a lot of patience, a lot of time to do it. You know, if you get frustrated, stop, move on to something else, or shelve it for the day. But yeah, very satisfying putting pieces together and having it come together. I've never attempted to build a boat house, but I think I like this thing. This thing's coming together. It's pretty cool. You know that stock, you think, am I ever gonna use that? Well, today is the day the Lexan gets used. I can't even remember when I bought this. I just knew I needed it for something. It's been underground for a little bit, but that's Lexan, 1/8" Lexan. It is UV stabilized. It's great for windows, and if you get it thick enough, it's bulletproof. This stuff is not bulletproof because it's only 1/8 of an inch thick, but it is UV stabilized. It means it doesn't yellow. Acrylic tends to yellow over time with the UV. The polycarbonate Lexan does not yellow. And what's also good about Lexan is that you can drill and saw it without it cracking. That's a very cool feature. I don't know if this one's going to cause problems or not, but hopefully not, because this is what I want for the front curved window, which I think it'll work really well for that. This is my plan for my side window. This is an old camper
window that I've removed. Although it is a little bit too long, I want to cut it to fit in the opening on the one side. And the good thing about it is it's open, so you can get some much needed ventilation on those hot, sunny days, and then you can close it up on the less than ideal days to keep yourself warm. So all I just got to do is modify it ever so slightly. Well, basically cut it in half. Fun fact, did you know there's grinding wheels that are specially designed for aluminum? They cut it like butter. It's raining cats and dogs outside. Fortunately, we're inside. We're working on our boat still. Don's doing the odds and sods, the old trimming of the exterior skin. I'm going to be working on the roof a little bit. My plan today is to install some foam, which is code board. It's a 1-inch foam insulation. It's going to add insulation to the ceiling to keep some heat in and to keep cold out, or the opposite way in the summertime. So a place to go inside to get away from the sun. It'll bounce the heat off. So a nice cozy area. So I just got to glue that stuff on, and then we'll move on to waterproofing the foam or the roof of the boat and all the other stuff that we got to do. Well, we got our insulation on our roof. I'm just doing a test strip of blue skin to see if it's going to react to my foam. It doesn't appear as though it's reacting to the foam. It's sticking relatively well. So that's the top seam. I'm going to blue skin it, and then I'm going to waterproof it. And then we've got another waterproofing membrane that's going to go on top of that to create a very watertight roof. But we're just going to let that dry before we do that. The other thing we're going to be working on, actually right now, is the back half of this thing. And now, I don't know what you guys think, but if we're sitting here in the back of the boat, I think we need some sort of a roof over top of us. So if we're sitting here in inclement weather, or if the sun's even shining, we need kind of like a roof structure above us sitting here, and we got to work on the doors, because otherwise it's just a big open cavern. But it's shaping up. I like the way it looks so far. It's very comfy sitting right here. So that's the plan. I added some blocks up there, and that will allow me to put sort of like a flip up or a flip down canopy on that. So when we're sitting down here, it's the shade. She's coming slowly but surely. There's a lot of little details that have to be worked out. It's kind of like as we go, we're working them out. But I'm pleased with it so far. We got to put some more. We got to put some ballast in. If anything I've learned is that from the luxury yacht industry is they have ballast at the bottom, like for ski boats. You ever seen those ski boats? The Pavati ski boat has got like thousands of pounds of ballast under the boats to make a really cool wave. So what we should do is you put rocks on the bottom of our boat to help stabilize it and create a really cool wake, so you can wakeboard off the back of this thing maybe.
Probably not.
You don't think so?
You got a pretty small pond.
Well, that's the Maiden voyage, but we take this thing out on the open waters, maybe we take it to the Atlantic Ocean or something like that.
Do a crossing.
That's right. Bob around like a cork. This might be like the boat that you stick to the lakes and the waterfalls that you're used to. Like this thing. I don't know. We'll see. We got I figure we'll have coffee before we make the really important decision of this opening here. There's a lot of figuring. We have 1/2 sheet of plywood that remains. We have to cover this in. Otherwise, it's not really a houseboat. It's just a boat with a lid, right?
Fishing boat.
It does look like a trawler.
Trawler.
Is that
That's right, yeah.
A trawler?
Yeah.
We could do like long lines, things sitting out the sides and go trawling. Isn't it called trolling? Or is it a trawler? Yeah, you're a trawlers. You're all trawlers out there. I wonder what Zach's doing. I wonder what Zach's doing on his boat right now. He has no idea what we've done yet. So we've had the luxury of looking at Zach's boat. So like the last build off with Zach, I kind of finished my glamper, so he got a good look at what I had done, and he gets to respond. So it's always like whatever, like in your competition, you get to go last. You kind of get to see what the other person did, and then you can just kind of
one up him, right? I don't know. We'll see. He's still got. I think he's still got some finishing touches he's putting on his. So we'll see. But this is my version of a houseboat. We're just plugging away. Anyways, we're gonna do our coffees, and then we're gonna get back to working. Lots of little details other than this little boat. Like love. Okay, that's good. Gonna bust out of there like the Kool-Aid man. Look at that. This one needs a little adjusting. I think we're pretty good. Look at that. Like saloon doors. We just gotta tickle them a little bit.
Yep.
We're all set. Cool. Cool. Well, I think that's a success. Look at this stuff. Hey, Frankie? Is this boat building weather? Hey, what do you think? Snowing. Have I mentioned to you yet that this is my new favorite tool? This is the Makita angle grinder here. We could do a tool time on it. I think I already have. It's usually a metalworking tool, but I've got a 36 grit sanding paper on it, and it allows me to hog off a lot of material in a really short period of time. And it allows me to shape stuff. This is actually would be a really neat tool if you're doing sort of like stump shaping, or if you have like you're doing end grain stuff, because traditional sandpaper or even belt sanders don't really work very well. This thing works amazing. And what I'm going to use it for now is that I got a problem with my doors. So the doors, the boat, everything on this thing is not quite straight or square or plumb. So it fits really well here, but then it hits here. I've tried adjusting the hinges, 6 ways from Sunday, and I can't seem to get it past this thing without making this look really weird. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna shape it. You can see it's hitting here, and then when it's over here, it hits here, and then it hits here a little bit, and then this side hits the bottom a little bit. So what I wanna do is I want them all to be free. I want them to be able to open that way. I want this to open past, how does it hit there now? That's new. Anyways, I want to give it a little bit of clearance so that it moves when it's there but not there. So I'm going to take a little bit off everything in order to give it a little bit of clearance. We're going to be rocking and rolling on the water anyway, so we don't really want it to be perfect. This isn't a house, this is a house boat. So we're going to just give it a little tickle all the way around, and hopefully everything fits perfectly. And then afterwards I got some barrel bolts from Princess Auto. We're going to latch it here so the thing's not just flapping in the wind when we hit waves. So I've been thinking about the name of this boat, and it's called the Ramble Junior, and it's kind of fitting. What do you mean, Ramble Junior? It could be the Ramble Senior. I'm rambling. Is it bad luck to rename a boat? I think it is. I think there's like a ceremony you're supposed to perform when renaming a boat. But I don't really have a name for this boat. This is how the boat came. It was called the Ramble Junior. I don't know, maybe you guys have suggestions on what to name this boat. I'll put that out to you if you guys have a name in mind. Put it in the comments down below, and maybe you guys will be able to name the boat. And don't like pick something like Boaty McBoatface. I know that's a very popular boat name, but try to keep it original. Yeah, but the Ramble Junior is fitting for now. Until we rename it. Maybe it won't be so rambly.
A name for the boat?
Yeah, Don, what do you think we should name this thing?
I don't know. Did you not tell me that it's bad luck to rename a
Well,
boat?
I looked it up, and there's a whole ceremony you got to do in order to rename a boat. But I was thinking, so I was actually looking at the name going, it's kind of fitting, the Ramble Junior. There's a rambly guy rambling all the time. You think of any name like Boaty McBoatface or...
No, actually, when I mentioned it before, you said it was bad luck, so went right out of my head.
Really?
But
Okay.
I will think.
You'll think about it?
I will
Okay.
think
Well, we got the name, we got the request out in the comments to put your thoughts down below to determine what we should rename the boat to. The whole ceremony, but that might be just an ocean faring boat and not a lake faring boat. We'll go with that. Anyways, put your ideas down below in the comments. And I think we're gonna get this thing ready to its maiden voyage. You think this thing's gonna float? We should try it now. Winter has come. Is upon us, and it's actually snowing right now. I actually, yeah, Frankie was running around in the snow. Anyways, Don just got here. I'm just bringing him up to speed on this thing. So I think we're gonna put it back on. We're gonna make sure it floats, because at this point of the game, we want to make sure it's balanced well enough to float and actually be able to maneuver this thing, because we don't want to go too far without determining that. Because if we want to do some modifications, we're gonna do them now. But just we gotta get this thing on some water. This is gonna be fun, eh? Is it heavy? You couldn't lift it?
Oh yeah, actually it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No.
It might have been glued to the base and he just ripped it right off the base. All right, so the current plan is to extend our forks because our forks aren't quite long enough. We did end up bringing it up with this setup, but now that we have extra weight, I don't want to kind of pinch it at the thing. So what I've done is we're just going to we're going to clamp on some 2x3s to the forks, and that is going to give us a little bit more reach like that. So what happens is these things pivot side to side, so we can get it on here, but when it gets to here, it's too narrow. We can get all the way to there, so that gives us quite a bit. That should work. Have you guys got solutions for joint pain? I got a bum elbow here, and Don's got this stuff. Liniment. Liniment, can you see that? Liniment, and it's old-fashioned since 1868. I'm gonna try it on my elbow. I got golfer's elbow. It's like tennis elbow, but for golfing. It's on the inside of the elbow. I don't know, I've been doing stretching and massaging and it doesn't really work. I figured I'd try this. He says it's supposed to make it feel like it's on fire. It smells like it's gonna work. It smells like pine sol almost, a little bit. Why did Kevin catch fire? I don't know. He's got liniment everywhere. Maybe you guys got solutions to, it's getting red. It's probably because I got no blood going into that thing. I got too many sweaters on. Maybe you guys got solutions to joint pain. Should be good. All right, got her on there. Bouncy McBounce boat. That's on pretty solid. We got to build a proper trailer if this all goes well, and then it'll be easier to launch than using a tractor every time. We'll just be able to back it into the lake and just gone. That's it. She's floating away on me. Oh no! That's perfect. We need some ballast. All right, you guys are in the boat. You guys are in the house section of the boat. I'm in the control section of the boat. So the plan on this guy is to actually have a little bit of a motor right here. Uh-oh. You guys fell on the ground. That's not cool. Are you still working? Whew. That was almost expensive. All right. As you guys can see, you guys are in the sleeping quarters, and I'm in the control section. So ideally, we got the little powered. We're gonna have a little electric motor here that allows us to boat around. We're not paddling and running around. It is a boat at the end of the day, so it's gonna be rocking. It's gonna be swaying depending on the wind and whatnot. And we still have some ballast we're gonna put in the bottom of it. So I think it's so far so good. We may think of some outriggers just to stabilize it a little bit more, but I think adding some weight to the bottom. Right now we've worked on the top. We haven't added any weight to the bottom, but it maneuvers relatively well. Oh, still recording. Don's gonna try feeding the fish to see if there's actually any action while I'm sitting on top. We might have scared them. I think the other good thing about this thing is you don't need a sail on it. You can just, like, the wind pushes you around. I think that's just the nature of this boat. That's probably why houseboats are usually pontoon based and they're kind of flat bottomed. This one is not so flat bottomed, so you kind of want to always be in the middle. or be properly balanced, much like an airplane. Because of an airplane, you want to, you know, have even weight distribution throughout your entire airplane in order to fly. What we have here is our boat. We're inside. You can see that this is the area where we're gonna have a heating source at one point. We've got our sleeping quarters right in the middle of the boat. We've got our ventilation or our air, which is gonna be right here. This is gonna be the cranky thing that opens. And then what we have in the front is we're gonna have a nice big window to look out. I think that's gonna be excellent. And yeah, we need some soft stuff down in here, which is going to yeah, allow us to be nice and cozy, comfy. And perhaps we'll put some ballast in the base to give us a little bit more stability. All right, guys, I think this proves the proof of concept. This thing will indeed float. We've got some engineering things we're going to be working out in the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and join me on the next one. Thanks to Harry's for sponsoring this video. Get your starter pack today. Head to their website, harrys.com/modernself, to get your starter pack for only $5. Hello? 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 Not focusing on me. There it goes. We're building a boat today. We're building a boat.